Hi, I'm Dana and welcome to another video of my little 12 Days of Odd Christmas series. I've already done one talking about my childhood Christmases, so I felt like it was the time to do one talking about my adulthood Christmases, and Otis is being the way that Otis is, so we're just going with it. But just to get straight into it, I've developed a real love-hate sort of thing about Christmas as an adult, because I really want to enjoy Christmas. I've always been quite a festive person. I want to remain a festive person and have a nice time and enjoy the festive period. But, you know, the more Christmases you have, the more of a tally you have of like, well, that was shit. And it's one of those where I think being autistic, I do quite often not allow myself to get excited. I realised that recently because I got real excited about something and then it didn't go through, and I was like, oh, this is why I don't get excited about things, because when they're cancelled or plans change or whatever, it sucks. So I don't really allow myself to get excited for Christmas anymore, which means that the whole run-up is just not that big a deal to me. It's just a lot of buying presents and wrapping them. And I think for most people, that's the time when like you're seeing friends and you're going out to like Christmas markets and Christmas events and Christmas parties, and you're celebrating like the run-up almost more than the actual events. And I just kind of can't be bothered. Like, I don't want to get my hopes up for it and just be disappointed, you know? And that's what's been consistently happening. Like, I had enough issues with Christmas as a kid, but as an adult, it's also the added thing of like, I'm the one that's got to control it. I'm the one that's got to like plan the Christmas. I've got to decide what I'm doing and where I'm going and who I'm seeing and who, like, there's so much to figure out and assess for as an adult, like in all areas of life, but especially, not especially, but also when it comes to Christmas, you've got to plan it all yourself. And as someone who's stopped speaking to my mother this year and my dad died when I was 18, it's, you know, I'm never going to have another family Christmas. I've got to either like find a new family to latch on to, have Christmas alone, or create my own people to spend time with. And I'm doing it. I have been invited to a friend's place for Christmas, and I'm hoping to see my girlfriend on Christmas, and, you know, I'm trying to make it a nice time, but I'm still just like not allowing myself to get remotely excited about it, and that's kind of half of the fun. So I'm missing out on a lot of things by just not allowing myself to get excited. But then if anything falls through or doesn't go to plan, it doesn't suck as much. But I think I'd be a lot more upset about this Christmas, and generally about my life, to be fair, if it weren't that I just don't care that much for like the societal norms and constructs anymore. When I first moved out, I was 16 when I first moved out, and I was trying real hard to convince everyone around me that I was a grown-up, while I was also just like, oh fuck, I've got to act like an adult, what do I do? But I wanted everyone else to see me as like, yeah, I'm 16 and I've moved out, I'm a grown-up. So I tried real hard to look put together around Christmas time. You know, like my first Christmas, I like bankrupted myself essentially. Like I was like, I can't buy food, but I've bought these Christmas decorations and I've put them up everywhere, and every part of my flat is Christmassy and festive, and that means I've got my shit together. I can post about it on Instagram, you know? And it was just so stressful. Like, every year that I went all out with Christmas decorations, I had them up until like the start of March, because the effort of putting them up wiped me. So I'm not doing all of that to take them down again. Plus I've then got to organise them and put them away for next year. It's so much fucking effort. I'm not getting the decorations out this year. And some of it's that I'm just a bit bitter and cynical and jaded at this point. But a lot of it's like, I can't be arsed. Like, I don't really see the need anyway. I'm already worried about my electricity and heat and costs and whatever. Why am I plugging in extra lights just to look pretty? No thank you. I spend half of December just chasing my cats around while they pull baubles off the tree. Like, there's so many things that we do as autistic people generally because it looks like what you're supposed to do and it looks like what everyone else is doing, and I can't be bothered. Like, there's no reason for it. Like, I mean, there is, because the neurotypicals are doing it because I assume, genuinely enjoy it, and they don't have the same executive dysfunction issues when it comes to removing them again. But for me, it just makes life harder and a little bit less fun. So I'm not doing it. And that's my thing with a lot of like the societal norms around Christmas is I'm just not doing it. I don't care as an adult. I don't care for like the social norm. I don't care if it looks like I'm not put together or like I don't know what I'm doing, because I fucking don't, for one. And also, like, it's easier. Life is hard. Life is really, really hard. And if I can do just a little bit to make it a little bit less hard and to keep it from being that extra bit hard, then I will. And this does similarly come to also like relate to who I'm gonna be spending Christmas with, because I've had several Christmases now where I didn't really want to spend them with my family, but I felt like I had to. You know, like my mum didn't even ask anymore if I was coming for Christmas. It was just the expected thing that I would be. Like, everyone knew that I would be coming for Christmas because my mum makes a big thing of Christmas and you've got to be there for her. And, you know, like, it's all very well and good being there for someone if they're there for you. That's the thing I've realised a lot of this year, and that's the thing that's sticking with me, I guess. I've had several years where I would rather have not spent it with my family. It's a very boring, very lonely Christmas with my family where they bring up all of the many family members that have died, and it's just not a generally good time. But it feels like everyone goes home for Christmas. Everyone goes back to their family. You've got to have a family Christmas. And it's only because I've like literally cut off my mum because our relationship wasn't working for me, essentially, that I don't have to do that. And from when I've spoken to people about this, everyone expects me to be really upset. And I'm not saying I won't have a little wobbly on Christmas when I realise, like, my family don't love me, but it's kind of a massive relief right now. And, you know, like, especially now that I've got an invitation for Christmas, essentially, because I've realised that a lot of my fear and a lot of my, like, worry and anxiety and sadness around it was not knowing what I'd be doing. I was like, am I gonna be sat in my house on my own on Christmas Day with my cats, just cooking myself a little meal? Because that's kind of sad. You know, like, it wasn't the fact that I wasn't going to be having a family Christmas with my family. It was the fact I was going to be having a sad, lonely little Christmas on my own. And now that I'm not so much facing that, I haven't, like, solidified my plans for Christmas, which is why I'm saying that, but I've got an invitation. I'm fully intending to go to my friend's place and have, like, a little Christmas with them. That's led into just a lot of relief, because I genuinely enjoy being at their house. I really enjoy speaking to them both. I really like the friends that they have. You know, like, it's one of those where if my family members unexpectedly popped in, I'd be like, oh God, I'm gonna go out for a smoke and I'm gonna go hide in the bathroom and hope that they've gone when I come back out. Whereas when the people show up at their house, I'm like, oh hi, nice to meet you. Let's chat, because they're cool people and I really, you know, like, it all just works. Like, I genuinely enjoy my time there and being around them, and it's a good time. And that's... Sorry, my sock felt weird. But that's not something I've really experienced with my family, and especially not as an adult. And like I say, I might still have a little wobbly on Christmas Day and end up locking myself in someone else's bathroom. But for the most part, I'm just like, yeah, I'm an adult and I haven't got my family around me because they kind of suck. I'd rather do this. You know, and my hope is that I can sort of do myself a little found family. I can sort of, you know, find the people I really enjoy being around and that, you know, make me feel like I'm wanted there, like they like being around me too. And hopefully over the next few Christmases, I'll be able to create like my own traditions and my own fun little festive things. But a lot of it is having to unpack the social norms and what's like expected and what I have to do for Christmas. You know, like the first 4 years that I cooked Christmas dinner, because me and my ex-partner do like our own little like Christmas time, I did Brussels sprouts. I fucking hate sprouts, and so did my ex. And yet for 4 years, it took me that long to realise I don't have to buy and make sprouts. Magical! But every single year, my mum would buy sprouts and we'd all complain and whinge, and she'd be like, well, you have to eat at least one. And I'd eat a sprout and be like, and then pass the rest to my mum, because she actually ate sprouts for some reason. But she'd make us all eat them, so I was just like, that's what you do. Everyone has to have a sprout at Christmas. You know, and some of that's my mum's own, you know, type, I think. But that's what I mean. It takes, or at least for me, it takes time to realise, like, oh, I don't have to do this thing. People choose to do this thing, and I can choose not to. I can choose to do this other thing. I can choose to make Christmas a time that I actually enjoy and spend time around people I like, and do it the way that I want to and the way that's a good time for me. I won't lie, it mostly involves watching a lot of really shitty, cheesy movies. That fucking Princess Switch movie on Netflix with Gabriella from High School Musical, I can't remember her fucking real name. Like a new one every year where there's just like more and more of her. I love it. Give me the cheesiest shit you can find. There's a new one with Freddie Prinze Jr. that I watched the other day, loved it. The new one with Lindsay Lohan, oh, kill me. The cheesier, shitter the Christmas film, the better. That's what I'm living for this year. Might still be a little bit sad. I think a lot of Christmas is very melancholy and makes me quite sad, to be honest. I've been that way since I was quite young. Like, I was like 13 and already mourning my childhood. It's like, honey, you were in the middle of it. But I think it's taken me to 25 to fully process and accept that Christmas is never going to be as good as it was when you were a kid. And now I've just got to figure out my way to make it good as an adult, and how to have Christmases that I'll look back on in years to come and be like, oh, that was a good time. I don't think this is going to be the fucking year though, to be honest with you. Like, I'm sorry to make a sad Christmas video. I do want this series to, for the most part, be like upbeat and fun, but that's not the reality for a lot of people around Christmas, and it's certainly not my reality this year. So, yeah, that's this video. Sound off in the comments. I want to hear from everybody. If you love Christmas, if you hate Christmas, if it also makes you kind of just sad and wish that it was not happening. You know, I'm definitely feeling a lot of pressure to pretend I'm into Christmas and be like, yeah, Christmas, festive, woo, when I'm not really feeling it all that much. So here's a little space for you here where you can talk about that. You can say whatever unpopular Christmas opinion that you have, and it's a safe space for it. Tell us whatever you're feeling. So yeah, that was this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, however you're feeling, you managed to find some degree of festive fun, even if it isn't some shitty, cheesy film like I am. I basically feel like I need to say more to like comfort anyone watching that's in the same place as I am, but like, you're in the same fucking place as I am. I don't know how to comfort myself. It just kind of sucks, and we're getting through it, and maybe next year will finally be fucking better. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again tomorrow.